Good afternoon and welcome to Apex Racing TV. We are back for another round of the iRacing Grand Prix Series. We're in Japan at Twin Ring Motegi for round number 2 of the series. And Motegi, tricky track. There's just not a lot of grip out there. I'm joined by Andrew Woodhouse and Conrad Venter. Andrew, we'll jump to you first, buddy. Motegi, tricky track, very difficult to overtake. And I think it's going to be no different in the new car.
Yeah, good afternoon, Alex. Good afternoon, everybody. Motegi is an interesting one, isn't it? It's a lot of slow stuff, but quite a lot of decent length straights. However, you really got to have confidence under braking to try and make a move. But of course, the car in front's always going to be on the power slightly earlier. Conrad, there aren't really that many places, are there, where you can send one up the inside?
No, we had a look at a race on Friday, and there's a few opportunities, but like you say, you've got to be good on the brakes. And for me, the only real place where you're going to get those chances are going into turn 12 on a downhill braking zone, and then if the guy in front of you has got a really bad entry and exit of turns 1 and 2, then that might give you an opportunity going into turn 3. But other than that, it's gonna be really difficult to overtake around here.
Guys are just starting to set lap times at the moment. I think I'm expecting to see the grid pretty close as well. Of course, we were expecting an update this week that was going to affect the DRS and the ERS. That hasn't happened, so don't expect any change in the way drivers approach their energy conservation. I'll start again. The way they conserve their energy, I think everybody's still going to be going at it much as they did at Sebring last week. Just looking at the quali times at the moment, George Maris returning again. He's right up there and currently sat in provisional pole position. Julio Linus, Slaven Yatsenko, so a lot of faces from last week back and doing well again. So small grid though today, 16 drivers, just about saw a split, and that's what keeps the numbers down, of course. But should be a lot of fun anyway, Conrad.
Yeah, we've got a few returning drivers from last season as well, and we've got the current series leader Slaven Yatsenko currently sitting in second place. Of course, he's done his 2 weeks already, so he'll just be looking for minor points improvements in this race. But we've got the likes of Zoran Jonic, who is currently sitting in ninth place. He's only done the 1 week, and a good race around here can propel him up the stones by quite a bit. So we've only got 2.5 minutes left, and it looks like most of the drivers have set a lap time. So it's just a question of seeing who is out on track still.
Yeah, Daniel Winston just snuck in there right at the depth of qualifying there, gets himself 127.4, which puts him on pole position, so 4/10. He's looked very strong. He looked strong yesterday in the races as well, so great last minute qualifying. I think he must have made a mistake on his first lap that he went out on and just aborted that. He's just doing some practice starts right now as well. Obviously not a lot of time to test this. We're so used to having, warm up before the races, and a couple of seasons ago where drivers could get out there and do all this, and now once you've done your allocation of qualifying laps, that's it. You're held in the grid.
Yeah, it's not something covering this series. Something we've really seen before with drivers going out after they've set their quali laps and doing a couple of practice starts and getting used to the track conditions. Looking at the track temperature, they have been treated to a nice hot one as well, with a track temperature of 49 degrees. So it's going to be all fun and games in terms of the grip available to them out there today.
So Julio just pulling up. We've lost Andrew, unfortunately, been called out on emergency. These things do happen, so hope everything gets sorted for him. So, but yeah, we will be here for the remainder of the race. I think everybody's done now, isn't it? So just the only car now, Ruslan coming into the pits as well. So that is qualifying pretty much done and dusted. I wonder if you can take us through the starting grid, please, Conrad.
Yeah, we got Daniel Vensing qualifying on pole with a 1 minute 27.4. 4 tenths behind him is George Maris in second. Then in third place we've got Slava Yatsenko, the current series leader. Massimiliano Ficara in fourth place. We've got Julio Orleanes in fifth. Victor Prieta in sixth. Seventh place is Will Trigueruta. Sorry if I butchered that. Sabitov in 8th place. 9th place we've got Merkelets. And 10th place we've got Zoran Jonic. Then we've got Herrera in 11th. 12th place is Martinez. 13th is Rasmussen. 14th is Vladimir. Machevsky. 15th place is Louis Busquet. And in 16th place is Flores Bichard.
Drivers just making their way to the grid. We had an interesting race last week. Obviously, people just sort of working their way up through from poor qualifying, and I think we're going to see similar again. It's actually certainly going to come out into this one as well if people decide that they need to have a pit. Just going to quickly look at the weather and track conditions. So 25 degrees, clear sky. So ambient temperatures not that high, but with the sun blazing and barely any clouds that we can see there, it's going to what it is going to do is certainly heat the track up a lot. So yeah, the tyres might get a little bit slick and a little bit slippy towards the end of a stint. So yeah, we'll see if people have decided they're going to go for a pit early or whether or not they're going to try and eke it out. So those that try and go the whole distance, they've got to be all in. They can't afford to come back out onto the come back into the pits late on, because that will just sacrifice their position. Here we go then, Conrad. Round number 2 of the iRacing Grand Prix Series Season 2 is underway here at Motegi, and it looks like a little bit of wheel spin from the pole sitter, and still a good start, though. They are going to be side by side going into turn 1. Maris looks like he may well have got the position there. He has indeed. Yatsenko just settles in third place, and it's Victor in 4th. Oh, he's very, very wide as well. He runs a little bit wide. We've got a few cars turned. I think that's Ficara and Julio there as well. So we've got another driver just having a little spin too. Turn 3, always tricky, and that's Julio out. I think major problems for him.
Yeah, it looks like Martinez took a little hit to the nose of the car. It's him that we saw turn around in turn 2. Yeah, he managed to recover. Julio is going again. I can't really see any damage on the car.
Maybe it's just superheated tyres, and that's why he couldn't get any sort of traction there. Looked like he had some sort of suspension damage or something. Just I've got another spinner in the background as well. That's Flores there as well, around in the new Gap SRT livery car. It looks very, very nice, I have to say. Yeah, everyone's struggling. Temperatures are hot, and we said this might be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at Bichard's spin. It looks like he got on the curb, and initially I thought he might have put a wheel on the grass, but he just missed it. The back end on that car just went on the braking.
Let's wind it back a little bit and see exactly what happened at the start as well. Going down into turn 3, I know Ficara and Leo caught up in that. See if we can get a good angle of that. Unfortunately, it's just a case of 2 into 1 doesn't go, and yeah, drivers just collect each other there. Bit unfortunate. Like I say, I don't think there's going to be any damage, but both drivers are going to have to come through.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that's going to try and work their way from the back up. We've got one guy in the pits. Iridia is in the pits. I think his boots might be cooked. He's already been in. It looks like he took a tow to the pits. He's already been in there for a minute and a half.
Yeah, Heredia there as well, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate. We lost a driver, so down to 15 as it would be. Front 3 though, very, very close. Yetsenko managed to get past Wensin as well, so I've got our pole sitter down to 3rd place. He's going to have to fight his way back through. Victor behind Zoran here as well, so looking very, very close. And then we've got Sabatov down in 8th place now with Nicholas behind him. Kakara coming back through as well. He's tucked up behind Biscuits at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen a good start.
Oh, he has a look down into turn 1. Gets the door firmly closed there as he perhaps a little late. But he's going to get a great run, maybe going into turn 3, using a lot of the ERS power. Late on the brakes, he is. You can see that. Slides up the inside and back up to 11th of place. He's not too far behind, 12 seconds behind the leaders. So, I mean, the spin cost him a little bit, but actually he should be able to still, you know, eke out a good result from here. His race place at Sebring was very, very good. So, we'll see how that pans out.
I was just looking through the starting standings and where they are now. Zoran Janic had an amazing start, managed to keep out of all the trouble. Started in 10th place, he's already up to 5th.
Yeah, it just makes such a difference. I mean, there's a little gap to Will ahead of him, it's fair to say, but let's have a look at the lap times. They were pretty similar, so yeah, 1:30.7 for both drivers, and of course Victor behind with exactly the same sort of time as well. So yeah, I think this one's going to come down to strategy call, as it looks like Zoran gets a little bit out of shape. And what does he just let Victor go there? I don't know. Easy to get a little bit of wheel spin coming out of that right-hander and final turn. And
it's a tricky little corner. It's like we mentioned on Friday as well. It's a corner where you see guys take so many different lines through there, and I suppose it's just finding out which one is right for you, or most comfortable, or which line it is that you have to take through there. It's least likely going to cause you to make a mistake.
Just watching this battle between Rasmussen and Marquette here. We're about 0.4 of a second separate them at the moment. Looking at lap times, Rasmussen much quicker that lap as well. So there's a little train starting to form up here, but behind the number 11 car. So I wonder, you know, there'll be a few people that might opt for different strategies here just to get out of the train as well.
Yeah, we've seen people.
Very late move there from Ficarra. Ficarra having a look, and well, there's no way through that way. I know. I really didn't expect a move, I have to say, but definitely wants to make up places as quickly as possible after the spin earlier on. Let's see if he'll get a run down into turn 1. Again, he just shows his nose, his intent, just puts off the driver ahead, and maybe again with the run, using a bit of ERS, doesn't quite get the same sort of run as he did on the last lap, so has to settle back in. No DRS down there, but it is well and truly activated now.
Yeah, this is if he can't get past here, then like you mentioned, you might see some strategy calls here. He's letting Merkulis know that he's there into every single corner, and he's just showing himself in the wing mirrors.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about just upsetting his rhythm. He just wants Merkulis just to pay more attention to what's going on behind rather than forward, so that, you know, he can just start pressurizing him, try and force that mistake. Easy to slip through if a guy just or driver just overshoots a little bit. or gets a little bit of wheel spin because he's trying too hard. DRS will come into effect here. He's 0.3 of a second ahead. Let's see what kind of effect the DRS is going to have. Not an awful lot, because Merkletz also has it, but it's enough to get a move done up the inside of that tricky downhill braking right-hander. Up to P9 now for Ficarra, working his way back through. Slide! So, looked mighty impressive, I have to say, and he caught the car well, so he's okay.
Yeah, he's a man on the move, and you know, if there was any headlights on that McLaren as he was attempting that overtake, it would have been going like crazy.
Let's have a look at this battle for 4th and 5th on the track right now as well, just ahead of what we were watching earlier on between this is Will and Victor. So after Victor's got past Zoran just a moment ago, he's definitely start to put the lap times in at 1:30.1 last time against Will's 1:31.1, so almost a second a lap faster. So with that sort of pace, you have to think you're going to be able to get a move done coming into a hairpin before the back straight, where the DRS is really going to come into play.
We've discussed pit stops before. What kind of windows are we looking at for those that decide they wanna risk that tactic and come in for new tyres?
Well, I think if you're going to pit in, you've got to make it worthwhile. So, and what you won't want to do as well is you won't want to be undercut by anyone else doing it. So, I think the drivers are more than likely going to pit in before the 50% mark. And here comes Victor into turn 1. Will just shuts the door a little bit early there as well. Just says no, not this time, my friend. Made his exit a little bit lazy going in. Again. Runs a little bit deep. This guy's having a great little fight as well, so it's slowing them down, and looks like Zoran made a little mistake further back as well. He's coming under a little bit of pressure from Sabatov. Doesn't manage to get through in the background. But yeah, I think we're looking at probably just before the 50% mark, so the guys will want to jump in, get those fresh tyres. Anybody else who's doing the sort of the one-stop strategy, they'll want to try and get the undercut on those. So got a little way to go, round about lap, I would say lap sort of 19. That's going to be about when the window should open.
Yeah, we've seen if it's done right, there's definitely some time to be gained on the fresher tyres. The race we covered on Friday had a track temperature of somewhere in the mid-30s, and 49 degrees out there at the moment. They are running about a second and a half lap slower than they did in those temperatures on Easter Friday.
Victor slides through again, using the DRS to full effect. It's that move. Will was he tried to defend it a little bit, but in the end, the DRS just got the job done. Victor up to 3rd place, not quite lapping. Well, let's see sort of what times he can do now that he's in clean air. The front 3 are starting to come back to each other again as well. So just noticed, if we just have a quick look, Wensing closing in on Yatsenko, and Slavan also closing in on Maris right now too.
Yeah, it's only a second and a half between them, so that's got the ingredients to be a really tasty fight in the not too distant future. And Vincent's closing up a lot through these tight twisted bits as they come up to the hip, and that follows onto the back straight. And you can see Vincent just having really good exit coming out of that corner as well. The thing is, at the moment, 3rd place Venting has got the DRS on Yatsenko. Yatsenko is just outside the DRS patch for George Maris, so he's not getting any of that advantage at the moment. There we see it once again as they come over the start-finish line.
Now, apparently in one of the races earlier on in the week, Wenson went for a one-stop So he could be one that might want to jump out. If he feels like he's being held up here, he might jump in. It's whether or not he's going to have that much fresher tyres to be able to get past at the end. So it'll be be an interesting strategy. So we'll have to see how it plays out. It's whether or not it's warm. I guess it's warm enough. If the track's cool enough and it's keeping the tyres in good condition, then probably he might want to stay out and try and do it on track. Who knows?
Yeah, at least the option that these guys have during the week to run out of 4 races before they start getting average points for what they've done, is they can experiment with these kind of strategies before they get to the strength of field races on the weekend.
Just Muglet's coming under a little pressure from Jorge Marquez here as well, so just half a second between them. At some point I think we're going to probably see a move. Again, this little pack still sort of there or thereabouts, so Muglet's really is the driver at the front of that, and it's Rasmussen and Ficarra that have got past. You know, sorry, I take that back. It was Rasmussen that was holding everybody up, wasn't it? So, but he's managed to pull a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, he's only about a second in front of Mercules at the moment, and going on the last lap times, lapping sort of in the same range. So, but Mercules might benefit from the DRS. Yeah, you could see him closing up quite a bit.
Oh, has to think about it and looks into to turn 3, but decides better off. He's got a little bit of damage on the front wing as well, so obviously caught up in the I believe he wasn't he? He was one of the other drivers that was caught up in the turn 1 incident. Sorry, turn 3 incident.
Yeah, he was the one that was spun around and had to wait for everybody to filter through. So he's worked himself back up to 11th place, and he's definitely got some pace in that car.
Front wing damage not affecting too much here. Obviously, it's not really a straight line speed circuit, so it's more about the amount of downforce you can throw on it to try and carry as much speed through these slow corners as you possibly can. And Conrad, I think you'll be able to check this out. I can't, unfortunately. But what's the track temperature readings at the moment? So,
oh, track temperature is reading 49 degrees centigrade at the moment. So it is hot. It is a lot hotter than we've seen in previous races over previous weeks. So I mean, grip is definitely going to be will come at a premium around here.
Yeah, it's crazy how that is as well. So once you get those clear skies, makes all the difference. Oh, I thought for a moment you think it was going to go for a late move. Has to kind of check out of it, and that puts him under a little pressure from Wensin as well. These three separated by 0.6 of a second at the moment. Crazy close battle at the moment. It's great.
George Maris had a really poor lap on the previous lap. He did a 1 minute 30.5, which is 1.3 seconds slower than his fastest lap. And yeah, I think a whole 0.7 of a second quicker on that previous lap, which I think enabled him to close that gap. And
we've seen this time and time again now from Maris, a little bit in past season as well, and we saw it again last week at Sebring. And very quick off the mark, but just doesn't have that sort of longevity in his tyres. Seems to eat into the grip of the tyres very early, and then if it just falls off, you can see him just getting a little bit out of shape coming out of the final corner as well. That's surely going to let Yatsenko have a run. He's going to have to go around the outside if he's going to make this one stick. Wensin has a look up the inside for the moment, so nothing coming from anyone there, but a good exit once again for Yatsenko. Moving around all over the place, really trying to upset Maris's flow. He goes a little bit wide onto the grass. Surely that's going to open the door for Wensin. Wensin has to actually check out of it a little bit. That saved Yatsenko just a little bit there.
Oh, you saw Yatsenko just having a little look and into that right hand Maris is coming under a lot of pressure here, and I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination. It looks like Yatsenko and even Wensing is on a charge. They want to get past, and it's so important. If any of those two, Yatsenko or Wensing, has decided on a pit stop, they have to get past here.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, looking at the track temperature, it definitely does open up the possibilities. So, oh, Yatsenko on the brakes. He goes for the move, gets it done as well. That was extremely late on the brakes. Gets the car stopped. Very impressive indeed. Maris saw him coming and decided it wasn't worth trying to defend that. It was just going to end up in a pile, and would have left through Wensing straight into the lead. So yeah, good awareness from Maris there. Needs to tuck in really here and try and hold on to Yatsenko the best he can.
Yeah, I think Maris is gonna have another move put on him. He won't be able to get the cutback on Wensing, and Wensing is through as well. So now it'll be interesting to see how Yatsenko and Wensing's lap times compare, and will Maris be able to sort of just keep in touch with him?
Yeah, somehow George has absolutely massacred his tyres. Pace is just dropped right out of it. I mean, I know he had a move on him there, but yeah, so into the 131s that lap. So that's the kind of lap times that Victor will want to be seeing in 4th place. We've missed a few other little overtakes as well. So Sabatov into 5th place now as well. He must have just got past Will. We've got Fakara trying to get past Will here as well. So we'll stick with this for a second. Zoran down to 8th place, so struggling a little bit out there. You can just see him behind this pack. So it's good little battle forming up as well. This is for 5th, 6th, 7th on the racetrack, and then 8th place just tucked up behind.
You've got Fakara closing in on them as well. Sorry, that's Rasmussen behind them. Yeah, I got Jonic and Fakara in the wrong positions there, but we've seen Fakara. He's been showing some really good pace, quicker than Will in front of him on that last lap. And it's interesting that there seems to be quite a few drivers out there that they're just coming into that window where they seem to be struggling with the tyres a little bit.
Oh, it is hot. Oh, Fakara very, very late. Pokes his nose in. Will does see him there. Just gives him the room. Had to. Going to be on the inside, but now onto the outside. He needs to try and hold it around the outside here, and he does.
Oh, he's off.
Oh, no, he doesn't. So he loses a place to Zonic. Sorry, Jonic there, but we'll carry on in 8th. So wants to make some places as quickly as possible, but just couldn't quite hold it in there. If he had have carried round the outside and just held it, he does have the advantage for the right-hander part, and that is what he was trying there, but couldn't quite make it stick. Zoran now with a bit of DRS. Will just under constant attack from behind.
Right, a little bit further back, we've got Martinez and Julio. They went side by side through turn 12. Julio was a mistake, and that's Martinez through. There's contact as well.
He just sort of threw his nose in there as well on that final corner. He's carrying a lot more speed, I think, and caught him out by surprise more than anything. And you could see that he actually locked up trying to avoid, and that's where the spin came. And yeah, I think just happy that didn't collect the other driver and ended up in a pile.
Yeah, he was quite lucky as well that the driver behind him, Merkulets, didn't run into him as well. Merkulets doing very well to get through there cleanly.
Back to this 6th, 7th and 8th place battle. Heating back up again. Fakara closed back in on the tail. of Zoran. Oh, that was a tap from behind. That has to have been. That was unfortunate. Can't say anything more than that. Spun around well. Will not be happy there. Tyres will be superheated. He's lost a place to Rasmussen as well. Wensin into the pits. Wensin's pitted. Lap 15 decides that he's going to bail on his attempt for a no stop. So he's going to have to work his way back through the field. Let's see how that one pans out. Will everybody just jump and try and cover him off? Or they're going to try and eke it out on a no stop? Of course, Ficarra picks up those 2 places. So he's back through. Actually, no, sorry. He didn't get past Zoran. So, yeah, unfortunately, the little tap there, I have to say, just got a little bit too close. That was on Zoran. Just needed to be a little bit more just cautious through that corner.
We've just seen Wensin in the pits. Now, a pit stop from pit entry to exit is somewhere between 24 and 25 seconds. Wensin only had a 22-second gap over the likes of Ficarra and Jonic, and he's come up behind them. And unless those guys decide to make a pit stop as well, he's going to have to overtake them.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, he'll have much fresher tyres right now as well, so I would think the traction he'll get coming out of like the hairpin going into that DRS zone will be quite extreme. So, in comparison, so he should get a good run on these guys. But you're right, he'll need to get by as quickly as possible if he's going to make this strategy work.
Now, Yatsenko's into the pits as well.
He's covered off. Maris decides to carry on as well, so
I think we're going to have a really, really tight exit out of the pit lane between Wensin and Yatsenko.
I think actually Yatsenko's got it covered, no problem actually. They're looking at that. He's into turn 1 already. He's come out ahead of Ficarra and Zoran, so no issues there whatsoever.
Oh, that was a really good stop, really quick as well, and coming out in front of the 2 Apex Academy drivers. This is going to be a huge advantage for Yatsenko. Oh, Wensin's off the inside.
Zoran tries to hold it but can't. The extra grip that Wensin's got there gets him out of that corner. I tell you what, Slava was very aware there. He saw that Wensin pitted in and he thought, right, I'm going to cover this one off. You know, I'm in the lead, I've got the track position. Last thing I want is my tyres to be a little bit ropey towards the end of the race. I'm going to bring it in now, cover off that. Should still retain the lead if other drivers pit in. And he's had enough of a gap on other drivers, enough pace that he knew that he could come back at anybody else that stays out. So 3.8 seconds behind Sabatov. That gap will come down very, very quickly.
It'll be interesting to see if George Maris is going to try and stay out and see if he can protect that lead to the end of the race. If he pits now, then he is going to come out somewhere between Jonic and Rasmussen, who's running in 7th and 8th. And it might give him a really good chance to overtake some people and get on the podium, or he can try and stick it out on tyres that aren't in great shape already and see if he can hold on for the win.
Yeah, I think he's all in now kind of thing. You know, he's certainly not going to do it with a pit stop. It hasn't got the pace. We've seen those tyres go off to the point where they're, you know, sort of 3-4 tenths of a second slower than than sort of his rivals out there. So, you know, throw a curveball, do a different strategy, try and look after those tyres the best you can, change your engine modes, fuel mapping, whatever you need to do just to stop those rears from overheating and yeah, just try and eke it out to the end. I mean, they just might not make it with this track temperature. It just might hit the cliff where the car's just dancing all over the place. But yeah, you've got to take a gamble every now and again. So 24 laps to go.
Yeah, we shall see when Yatsenko and Wenzel cross the line this time around, what their lap times are, and how much they have been able to close up. Ooh, 29.5. See, Yatsenko was what, 7/10 of a second quicker than Maris on that lap. He's gonna have to catch him by more than that.
Yeah, I don't know why it popped up as Maris had a fastest lap of the race there, because that wasn't right at all. It was it was Jasenko with 29.5, so 2/10 quicker than Wensin. Wensin obviously closing in on Fakara. Wensin actually did a 29.1. My mistake. It was Fakara with a 29.7, so he's showing good pace out there, even on the old tyres. So it's going to be difficult for Daniel to get through, but you have to think if he can get 7/10 of a second behind now, if he can get to 3-4 tenths coming out of that hairpin, should be able to use the extra traction and the DRS to get it done.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Yatsenko's been able to really pull a gap to Fikara behind him. It seems like Vincing has made a lot better use of the extra grip with the new tires. Of course, he's had the DRS behind Fikara as well. And we've got another driver coming into the pits. That is Rosman Sabitov.
Sabitov, yeah, decided enough is enough. He's going to come in. He'll be a bit quicker than he was in the second stint, of course. Slightly longer on the tyres, so it'll be slightly fresher. We always think here with Motegi being so tricky to overtake, it's definitely you've got to think of track position more than anything. Worth taking a few laps older tyres, like Wenson did, just to try and get the track position you need. Didn't work out for him. He came out right in traffic, and that's really stifled any chance that he had of getting a run on Yasenko. And he's starting to pull away now as well. Although only a 29.8 that last lap, so these guys still 29. I'll get my mixed up again. 29.6 v 29.5, so still closed in a tenth that lap, and that's still with Fikara between them.
Yeah, more importantly, that last lap, Yatsenko managed to close the gap to George Maris by an entire second. That's looking, from his perspective, that's looking a whole lot better. But once Yatsenko starts getting up there, we've got Benting up the inside of Fikara out of the exit of turn 11, and he just drove straight past them.
Yeah, I think Fikara just went a little bit deep into the hairpin, perhaps locked up a little bit there, pushed him out wide, and that made him very, very vulnerable. And Wenson didn't need a second opportunity and just straight up the inside.
That battle for the lead has been settled for us as well.
Yeah,
Maris is in the pits.
Yeah, he comes out behind this this group. So yeah, I guess really the Victor now, he's lapping fairly consistently as well. I mean, he is losing a lot of time, and they're only 5 seconds behind him, so they will catch him up in about, it's about 5 laps time, so we're looking at about lap 26. I can't see him holding on, but is he going to decide to stay out? I'm not sure. I think with this track temp, we're going to see everybody end up pitting in the end.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know how many of them sort of had a plan before the race of not stopping and changing that roundabout now, where they decided it's just not worth it to stay out there. When they have dropped a lot of lap time. Victor running at the front, he's 8 slower than his fastest lap, and anybody else not pitting is somewhere between 8 to over a second slower than they were at the start of the race.
Having a look at everyone else at the moment. Everybody all of a sudden just starting to separate apart, which usually does happen, and Victor decided enough is enough, and he brings it in as well for a set of tyres, does exactly 50% distance, and he'll have 50% for the end or so. Bang in the middle. Right where we said the pit window was as well, sort of lap. I think actually Daniel come in, a couple of laps earlier than what we thought maybe?
Yeah, his tyres are 6 laps old now, so that was...
Rasmussen into the pits as well. But as it turns out, everybody's pitted then. Pretty much. No, just for Caro, who hasn't. He's still out there, still trying to throw that curveball.
Yeah, we haven't seen Janic in the pits either. So I was quite looking forward to a race with some varied strategy, but I mean, yeah, there's guys that came in early, like still Vincent's tires already 6.5 laps old. We've got a couple that are only pitting now, so they're going to come out on tires that are much fresher and a car that's a little bit lighter. So they'll see if they can make a bit of an impression on the guys that pitted earlier. Well, as always, it should make for an interesting last quarter of the race.
Yeah, Sabatov and Merkelets are pretty close to each other at the moment. Ruslan obviously had a pit stop, so we should see the advantage of the tyres right here with the draft. So yeah, look at the speed difference there that he gets. So, and under braking, it's going to be pretty easy, I would think. Although, it's very tight in there, but still, a little mistake from Merkelets behind as well. Just about holds on to that. The last thing you want is heading towards that wall on the right hand side.
Yeah, how many times have we seen that in the races that we've watched? People just coming out of that corner, just getting a little bit too excited on the exit and yeah, having a little wiggle.
Yeah, it's too easy round there as well. It's such a tight corner, and you want to get on the power as hard as possible. And yeah, he just, especially if you just nick the just go a little bit further past than the sort of the rumble strip curb on the outside, and just hit the gravel that's just on there. It just car gets so light very, very quickly as well. Got to have your game on if you're going to catch it, if that's the case as well. And it looked like he did right there as well. So great driving.
I tell you what, guy who's loving the new tyres or fresh rubber is George Maris. Set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:29.1, and he might be looking at making he's definitely going to make an impression on Ficarro, who hasn't stopped. And speaking of that, at which point now because it's a 42 lap race and we're on lap 23, at which point do you get to where you say, I can't stop now, I've got to see this through to the end? Sort of the point of no return, really.
I guess, yeah, it's a tough one to say, to be honest. I think right now he can still pit and make ground on people that have pitted. He will have fresher tyres, but he's probably only looking at best getting a 5th place. So he'd lose a couple of places. Sorry, no, that'd be 4th place. So right now he's going to see if he can hold on to this with Maris. Done a little wiggle there. I think he'll probably see if he can fight off Maris, but if he can't, then he'll jump into the pits. He'll certainly be able to catch up and pass with his pace Ruslan and Victor, I think. So, but yeah, he will. If he's still out there in 10 laps time holding off Maris, then I think he'll probably go for the whole race.
Oh, we've just seen Janic just been in the pits, so he's pulled the trigger on that. George Maris's last lap was again fastest lap of the race. First drive we see the dip into the 1:28, 1:28, and he's now within that DRS zone behind Ficarra as well. I think it's not going to be long before we see Maris fly past Ficarra.
Yeah, 1:28.9 this time as well. So, sorry, last time wasn't it? So 1:29.6. But yeah, a second a lap easy. Should get a run. You would think this lap he's going to be close enough coming out of that hairpin.
It just looks like Maris is, with the fresh rubber, able to hug the corners a little bit tighter as well. And you can see he's got so much more grip on the exit of each and every corner. Oh, we've got Janic back in the pits. He must have had a moment.
Yeah, sets him back down to what will be end up being last place on the track. So, right, surely this time then, Maris on for Kara. Kara doesn't make the same mistake, but Maris just gets that much better drive. You can see, going to be straight through surely, using the DRS. Very late on the brakes, pretty easy done in the end. Yeah, so I mean, Ficarra's still in a good position at the moment, but you're right. He could pit now and know that he could still get back and into 4th place. I'm sure. He's got 10 seconds on. I don't know. He's still got 15 seconds that he'd have to catch up on Victor. I think he could do it, but that's not going to be easy considering Victor's pitted as well. So.
Yeah, he's got about a 24-second lead over Merkulit's 7th place. I think, catching Sabatov is a real possibility. If he pits now, Victor Prieto, that might be a different kettle of fish. Just a quick little update on Jonic. He made that pit stop, which we obviously covered. He came out of the pits and then went straight back in the next lap. There wasn't any. He didn't make contact with anything. He didn't have a spin.
Penalty.
Literally, it was an outlap and immediately back into the pits as well. It would be interesting to know what happened there.
Yeah, I'm thinking penalty as well. Looking at the time that he was in the pit, 16.1 seconds. I think he's had a penalty, so he's had to stop and hold as well. So killed his race altogether. So easy just to get off that rev limiter a little bit early, and well, yeah, it's killed your race. Not much going on at the front. It's fair to say the guys lapping pretty much identical lap time. So after Wenton's able to clear Ficarra, not been able to make any more head ground or time on him at all. So 29.4 for Yusenko, 29.2 that time. So 0.2 of a second. I mean, if he carries on at that rate, we'll get to him by the end of the race. But it's not going to be easy, that's for sure. Yusenko showing he's got good rhythm and not making any real mistakes out there at the moment.
Yeah, we see all the guys that have done have made their stops that are sitting sort of in the top 10 are all comfortably in the 1 minute 29, even dipping into the 1:28. Merkulit's not having a great lap along with Will, but yeah, Ficarra up there in 4th place. He's now going to the 1 minute 31 in clean air. It's really Victor in 5th place. He's got a fancy having a little go here in about 7 or 8 laps, really.
Yeah, I think you're right. So 29, I say 29.4. So the car's tyres are going to be absolute. Well, they're going to be at it, I think, by the time it gets to the end. So, but yeah, he's gone for it. I think Ficarra he had that bad start, got involved in the accident, and yeah, just throwing a curveball now just to see if he can salvage some sort of result out of it.
And the only thing that I can think might be his saving grace come the end of the race is the guys behind him would have to push the tyres so hard that by the time they get to him, their tyres are toast as well. So then they might be on a little bit of a level playing field, or more of a level playing field than they would be if they were right behind him on the fresh rubber. And you can see that gap between Victor and Ficarra coming down the whole time.
Sorry about that, Conrad, just for a second. Yeah, what were 1:29.6 last time, 1:31.5 again, so 0.9 of a second. So he's going to get there by the end of the race, absolutely no question there. And you wanted to know when you were when you were locked in, now. There is absolutely no chance that he'll be able to get back to him now with a pit stop. So he's yeah, he's going for it, and that's that.
The interesting thing is if the car threw the towel and decided to have a pit stop right now, the guy who he would come out in front of is the only other driver in the top 10 that hasn't made a stop yet, which is Merkulis. And but Merkulis is going to have some company pretty soon as well. So yeah, making a pit stop in this race absolutely the right thing to do. As we can see, George Maris putting in another fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 28.8.
Yeah, he's too far back to have a run at Wenton and Yatsenko, but those laps where he stayed out, he just lost that much tracked, position there with the undercut. So this is what we were saying, but I think he needed to do that because his tyres were just not holding on like the rest were. So that guarantees him a podium finish, which you have to say is still pretty reasonable result.
Yeah, I guess it's really difficult when you know your tyres aren't holding on as long as some of the other guys around you, and if you couldn't give yourself any opportunity of ending up on the podium, you've got to sort of sacrifice the win, really. I mean, in a certain way, you're settling for second and third at some point of the race.
Looking at a little battle that's going on a bit further down. This is between this is for 12th and 13th. So Marcheski trying to make his way past and up a place. Neither of these drivers have pitted as well, so really struggling out there. Not quite sure if Vladimir goes through as a mistake there as well. What gives up the place, so easily done through there as well. Tricky corner, the camber that pulls you into that corner. You can just get so unsettled through there as well. And yeah, just a mistake and drops a place. So Marchevsky up to 12th as it is.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Ficarra in a little bit of trouble by the end of this lap. Victor not far behind him, 1.8 seconds at the moment. Difference in lap time on the last lap. Wow, that was nearly 3 seconds. Victor doing a 1 minute 29.2, Ficarra doing a 1 minute 32.3. I think this is the time now. This is really where you realise the one stopper was the right way to go, and it's just a question of holding on for dear life now, hoping the tyres see it to the end. 30 laps done. Victor getting the DRS as well. That's just gonna make matters a whole lot with Ficarra as well. 2.7 seconds on that last lap.
Yeah, it gets a little bit sideways as well. Let's take a look at this. This is we've got 11 laps, so pretty tough for Ficarra to hold on as well. I mean, I think even if he holds on to this place, he's going to still come under a little bit of pressure from Sabatov behind as well. He's only 7.8 seconds behind, a lap and a second a lap faster too. So
it's about to become a whole lot less. Victor's going to have a look around the outside. He's going to have that place. Ficarra making a mistake through those S's, then 6, 7, and 8.
And that's just the advantage you get there from the grip. It's just crazy. When you're a second down, and Ficarra, I mean, he was lapping in the 30s earlier on, but he's really struggling now as well. So his tyres pretty much coming into life.
At least they got a bit of DRS down this back straight.
Battle that's been going on for quite some time as well. Pretty much all race between Jorge and Julio there as well. They've caught up to the back of Grill ahead in 8th place. So three car fight. 10 laps to go.
Merkelitz, 9th place. Oh, he hasn't stopped, but he has just stabbed Marquez, turn him over. Marquez on the wall,
And
trying
he's
to
caught,
get the car off. Yeah, I'm afraid that is going to be.
Oh no,
back
he's
to
off,
the
he's off,
pit.
he's off. It's just whether or not the car's going to be drivable after that massive front end damage on there. We'll see. Has he picked up any suspension damage as well?
Doesn't look great. He's
He's
decided
in the
to
pits.
go into the pits. He's crabbing a little bit.
That's unfortunate. 10 laps to go, you'd just be kicking, you know, just be so annoyed with that.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Merkelitz on tires that he's been on from the start of the race. He was never going to hold that position into that braking zone, and I think he just broke himself a little bit into that corner and got the back end.
Right, let's take stock of where we are then. So Yatsenko leads by 1.8 seconds. Winston is closing in, but I don't think it's going to be enough now. So they're pretty much exchanging laps at the moment. So 0.3 was Winston was quicker the last time by, but yeah, I just don't think it's going to be enough. We'll wait and see. You never know. Could one little slip up from Yatsenko and he's going to be right in that DRS, and that really opens it up. Maris is the quickest man out there at the moment. 5 seconds is the gap to Wensin though, so no chance for that one going anywhere. Victor in 4th place, then Ficara in 5th, and Sabatov in 6th place. So I still think we could see those two battling it, because that gap, that closure speed is almost up to 2 seconds a lap. So once Ruslan gets there, it's going to be like taking candy from a baby, I think, when he gets straight through, almost like we saw with Victor right around the outside.
Yeah, I think the only sort of positive that Ficara would be can take out of his non-stopper is that once Sabatov has passed him, he has got a good size gap back to 7th place. Which, unless there's lightning or rain or disaster strikes, he should be able to at least hold on to 6th place.
Yeah, Maris having some connection problems. Battle going on out there right now. Rasmussen and Merkelitz. And Merkelitz holds on to that one for the moment, but Nicholas got great run. Surely with the DRS and the fresher tyres will get this done in the braking zone. Oh, he's late on the brakes. Oh, a little wiggle for Merkelitz. He tried to brake as absolutely late as he could there, just locked up his rears, but yeah, and it's just when you've got tyres that are as old as they are, there's just nothing you can do.
Sorry, actually, just at the front, we're seeing that that gap between Venting and Yatsenko. It's coming down. It's 1.2 seconds right now, and if the gap is coming down at the same rate by the end of this lap or the next, Venting should be in that DRS zone.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out that Winston pitted earlier, so Yatsenko has got slightly fresher tyres out there as well. So not by a lot, just a lap, but you know, it does make a difference. So yeah, Winston definitely on a bit of a charge right now. Let's hope you know, for the race and for us that he can get there, and we can see a battle on the closing laps. We can see George Maris still closing in behind them, but yeah, nothing really going there. And Ruslan right with Ficara right now as well, so was in fact 2 seconds that last lap. So they start the car, done already. That was just easy.
They just make it, yeah, I was about to say, they just make it look so easy when it's a mismatch like that.
Yeah, 32.7 for Ficara that lap, so his tyres have had it. So yeah, unfortunately I think made the wrong call. I think he would have got up and passed Ruslan and Victor had he pitted in pretty same sort of time as when Wensin went in. So
Fikara had his troubles earlier on in the race, and I think maybe that was just playing on his mind a little bit when it came to the decision on whether or not to make a pit stop. And you've already lost time at the start of the race, going into the pits now and sitting there. I think it's easy just to think I'm going to lose more time, especially if you don't know what the other guys in the race are deciding.
Yeah, I think had it been sort of, the track temperature had been down in, sort of like around 40, maybe maybe into the 30s, you think, well, I know I'm going to be able to one stop easy and the tyres are going to be absolutely fine. And that's when you go, right, yeah, gamble on. But I just think what did you say it was, 48 degrees or 50 degrees?
Yeah, 49.
49, yeah. Just so hot, and the tyres are so sensitive to temperature. And they just build up and up and up and up as the run goes on, and you just lose more and more grip. So, and that's definitely caught Fikara out right there.
We're just seeing the leaders coming up to. They've just gone past a Biscuit, who was a lap car, and they're making their way up to the back of Vladimir as well. Well, this should. For the sake of having a little bit of action towards the end of the race, they should get Vensing a little bit of an opportunity to close that gap even further.
What Wenton needs, really, doesn't it? Just something just to be able to, that's going to cost, I think, 4 or 5 tenths of a second to really get the charge on. He's just struggling to get inside that window. 1.1 seconds, so close, but yet so far.
Yeah, with Vladimir is still on the old tires as well. He hasn't pitted, so Yatsenko is going to be on to him really, really quickly. And when you're running at the front like this, you're just always hoping that you catch the back markers in the right place.
And that was absolutely the right place. Just moves out of the way coming out of the corner, so no time lost whatsoever for Yatsenko there. Be able to, it's 1.1 seconds again, so it's getting close. I think we will have a little battle on our hands in the final few laps. How often do we see this, Conrad? There's nothing really going on for the best part of the race. They all come apart, but towards the end they just slowly drift closer together. There's a few little battles going on out there right now as well, but we'll stick with this one because this is going to. I'm sure this is going to heat up before we see the checkered flag.
Yeah, I just want to mention there as well, Vladimir being totally aware of the two guys in the front closing up to him and letting them both through on the same piece of road as well. Great awareness, and that's maybe sometimes something we would like to see more often. We'll have 5 laps left as they cross the line. That gap fluctuating just somewhere between 1.1 and 1.2 seconds as they start the lap. And the next car up the road from the two leaders is Zoran Jonic, and
it just looked for a moment there that I thought Singer just got a little bit out of shape going in. So, but yeah, he didn't. It was okay.
Yeah, we might just see the two leaders closing up on Jonic by the last lap or two. They are lapping just a few tenths quicker than Jonic at the moment. And dare I say it, coming up on this next straight, Vin is going to have the DRS on Yatsenko. He has dropped a few tenths on this lap.
I'm never shy of giving it a big old plug, so it's great to see actually 2 drivers from the academy fighting it out for a win. Right, gap is
Also-
7/10 of a second actually now. So yeah, we're getting definitely into the into the business end of this race. So, oh,
Yeah, we've only got 4 laps left, 7/10 difference. Vincing is going to have the benefit of the DRS on 2 occasions on each lap. And yeah, once they come around the corner, they can just see Janish disappearing around the next one. Yeah, how often? Just quickly, how often does that happen? You're leading a race, you're coming to the end of the race, and you just see that back marker in somewhere in the distance, and you're either hoping for you not to catch him. Oh, Yatsenko has made a mistake. This is going to give Vincing a real opportunity.
yeah, has to go defensive in the left-hander. Makes the exit a little bit shabby coming out of there. So around the outside, this is going to give Wensing a great run, but he goes far too deep. I tell you what, that was probably his best opportunity to get a move done right there, and just messes up the entry to the corner. And Yasenko gets away with one there, makes a mistake, and it wasn't instantly pounded for it.
Well, Yatsenko went defense, and I'm wondering if Vincing just didn't just try and stay to the left-hand side, trying to give space, and yeah,
I think
just gave too much space.
Yeah, I think what he wanted to do was he wanted to what a really late apex. He knew he was going to be wide, but he wanted to get on the power early so that he got better drive off the corner, use the DRS and as much ERS as he's got left, and try and get that run done. But yeah, just got it slightly wrong and ended up sort of having to sort of triangle off the corner to get the car to turn. So let's see if he can get into the same sort of position again, just sort of lining him up.
Yeah, Yatsenko managed to negotiate that set of corners without making a mistake. It just looks like the car is getting a little bit loose on the exit of some of the slower corners. Vincing, that previous lap was really the best opportunity he had. He had all race, and if he doesn't get this done in the next 2 laps, he'll be kicking himself.
Yeah, that traffic's going to come into play, is it? Let's have a look at the lap times. No, probably not actually. I think they'll be okay. I think Zoran's lapping quick enough that he'll be fine. Only 6 or 7 tenths of a second slower, so. Oh, Maris in the background, did you see that? I don't know if you saw that from the camera angle you were looking at, but wow, big slide coming out of turn 2.
Oh yeah, that got really tail happy, and I think looking at what he's done since that pit stop, he must be pushing really hard. He must also be hoping that Vincing and Yatsenko is going to get into a little arm wrestle on in the last lap and a half that remains, which might just give him a sniff if something happens. Well, pure pace is going to be too far behind, so something would have to happen between Vincing and Yatsenko in order to give him a chance of the win.
Yeah, I can't see it. Wensing just losing a little bit of ground this lap, so 8 tenths of a second. Use the DRS close back into 7 tenths of a second. So you're not getting a great deal of advantage off of that DRS, and you don't get a lot of advantage anywhere really on this circuit. The straights are too slow, and the car is just consistently accelerating. So even in the draft, you just gain just a tiny little amount. So here we go then, final lap of the race. I can't see anything changing. No one else is battling now. It's all just separated out. So Vincent's going to have the lap of his life just to get back on his tail and hopefully force Yasenko into a mistake. Now's the time to put that sort of lap in as well. The pressure the Slava will be on is pretty high, it's fair to say. Nothing worse than being on the last lap of the race with a car less than a second behind you.
Yeah, driving this car is nerve-wracking at the best of times, and like you say, having somebody that close behind you when you're fighting for a win is nerves are shot. His heartbeat is probably about twice as high as it would normally be as well. I mean, I've been in positions where you just sit there and you feel your heart trying to climb out of your chest, but he's got 2-3 corners to negotiate.
Yeah, 0.8 of a second. Like you say, you can again just as 1/10 closed in on the DRS, just not enough. Simpson runs a little bit deep as well. Long as Yatsenko can keep this clean, he'll win the top split race for round number 2 here at Motegi. He's delighted with that as he has a little weave across the line. Wensin, good race. Really come down to the start. I think he did have the pace on Yatsenko, but just made a poor start and dropped down to 3rd place. Maris got a great start as well, and he comes across in 3rd. Good race from him. Victor's going to come across here in 4th place. Again, another good, fine race from him. Had a few little battles out there. Sabatov in 5th. Positive Sim Racing, another good result for him. Top 5, just what you need for Kara. Obviously had his problems at the start, but still a 6th place, managed to make the no-stop work. Did he gain places? I think he probably gained 1 place with staying out, but I think he would have got Will anyway, so in the end, probably nothing gained, nothing lost, I would say.
Yeah, Fikara didn't have a great start to the race. He started in 4th and obviously had his troubles earlier on in the race, but finished 6th. Yeah, like I said, I didn't think there was anything gained or lost there, really.
Everybody else just coming across the finish line now.
Yeah, Zoran Jonic and Merkulit still out on track. Jonic managing to make up another place on this last lap.
Yeah, Merkulit's struggling with his tyres, so just wants to get it home, that's it. And he does indeed. Conrad, take us through the final standings, if you would.
Oh, that was a very entertaining race. Winning it was Slava Yatsenko, Daniel Wensing 0.8 of a second behind him, George Maris coming home in 3rd, and then Victor Prieto in 4th place. Ruslan Sabatov in 5th, Massey Milano Fakara in 6th place, Luka Kupul in 7th, and we had Niklas Rasmus in 8th place, Julio Ornelas in 9th, and Zoran Jonic in 10th, Kirill Merkulets in 11th place. Then we had Vladimir in 12th, 13th was Busquet, and a couple of non-finishers was Martinez was 12 laps down, Richard was 39, and then we had a casualty right at the start of the race, which was Guillaume Meridia.
Another round of the Grand Prix Series done and in the bag. Yeah, just pick up on a couple of points from the chat as well. You know, obviously tough season, 2 difficult tracks at the start of this season puts drivers off as well. Perhaps why we haven't seen some of the drivers from last season getting involved in that. No pro licenses up for grabs as well. So, but where are we next week? Hopefully we'll see. It's Road America next week, so always a bit of a favourite for drivers. Obviously, really opens up overtaking there with the DRS as well. So I dare say we'll see attendance pick up and be a little bit better. Maybe we can get back to 3 splits and you know, some exciting racing as well. Not that wasn't at the end there as well, because I think you know, we just I think we want those 20-car grids really, just to spice it up a little bit more.
Yeah, today was a really entertaining race. Like I say, we'd like to see maybe a few extra cars on the grid. If we can get 20 plus cars on the grid, that'd be great. But Twin Ring Motegi, maybe not everybody's favorite. As you mentioned, we've got some great tracks coming up with Road America, Nürburgring, Monza, and Suzuka, to name a few. Hopefully it does pick up, but between Daniel Wensing and Slava Yatsenko, they treated us to a real nail biter at the end there. Yeah,
awesome. Thank you, Conrad, for joining us as well. Hopefully we we'll see Andrew Woodhouse back next weekend. Hopefully everything is okay with him. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Obviously next week, same time, so 12 GMT, which is 1 p.m. UK time, as everybody shifted forward, I think, an hour now with summertime, so the European members as well. Just yeah, set your clocks for that one. But yeah, Alex Simpson, Conrad Venter here, round 2, iRacing Grand Prix Series. We'll see you next week for Road America.